Hey, what's going on, guys? So I recently sent a alert to our private group that I was going ahead and buying calls on Apple stock. In this video, I want to kind of go over why I feel like I see some bullish potential on Apple and I can see a move higher in the next few days. So I'm going to go over my analysis and kind of what I see. If you guys want to get alerts on stocks like this early, I always post it in my private group. I'm going to leave the link in the first description for that. So make sure you guys check that out if that sounds interesting. But let's go ahead and jump right onto the charts. So this is Apple. So when we go on a 4-hour time frame for Apple and I turn on my supply and demand indicator, I'm just kind of looking at where my key levels are. So I always do that. I jot my key levels right away, and then I make sure I put if it's a 4-hour support, 4-hour resistance. And the way I know that is I have them color coded. So these are our 4-hour zones. This is support. So we're going to make sure it's a 4-hour support. And then now we're going to chart our 1-hour support and resistance level. So that's our 1-hour support level, and then we have a 1-hour resistance level up here. And then just like that, we can turn off our indicator there, and we are presented with a chart that kind of looks like this. So I'm gonna go actually into replay mode and show you guys why I went ahead and bought some calls on Apple. So this is the chart that I seen, and when we look to the left of this chart, we can see a few indicators on why Apple might be a little bit bullish. So if we look at this level right here, this is a old support level. This was an old demand zone on Apple that was able to hold really well. So we can see that key level right there on Apple at about 215 and 70 cents, and then we can see we broke below this level and Apple started to trend back up. But now we can see where we found that resistance level, and that was right up here at that same level. So I've been watching this zone for the past few days, and we can see we rejected this a few times, but on Friday the entire market was a bit bullish and Apple was a little bit more bullish. We broke above this key level, started trending up, and what I was looking for was to see Apple come back, retest this area, and see if it can continue moving higher. And if we drop to a lower time frame, or actually I'm already on the 15-minute time frame, we can see Apple came back and retested this area, and I was watching to see, is it going to break below this area? If it breaks below this area, that tells me there is still some weakness. But if we can see Apple come down, test this area, and hold that support level, then I feel good about Apple to the long side. Also, if we look at Bookmaps, I can't really show you guys right now because I don't have the old data, but we had a lot of sellers at this 214, 215 zone, and I wanted to see if Apple is able to take those sellers out. So if we move to the next candle, we can see Apple for sure was able to hold that support level, and this is where I entered my long position. Now, what am I looking for? So what I'm looking for Apple is for it to go up, come back, test this area, and start trending higher, something like this, and retest this higher supply level up here at 222 or maybe around 220. So this is where I'm looking for my profits, around this 220 area, and I'll tell you guys why. It's for a couple reasons. So if we turn on our moving averages, so this is our daily moving averages, we can see for Apple that 220 right here is where our 20-day moving average kind of lines up. So that's my take profit level on these calls, and my stop level is if we see any break below this area. So if we see any break below this area, that tells me my trade is invalid, and that is where I want to get out of this trade. So now I took a screenshot of Bookmaps, and this was a little bit interesting to me. If we look up here, this is where those sellers are sitting now, which is that 220 level. And if we look here, we can see we have 111,000 sell orders sitting up there. And if you know anything about stocks, you know they love to go to the next liquidity levels. So we see a little bit of liquidity here, a little bit of liquidity here, a little bit of liquidity here, but the major liquidity is up here at that 220 level, and that is where I expect Apple to go, maybe tomorrow, but sometime this week. So the contracts I bought are 3 weeks out, so I can give myself a little bit of time on those contracts. So guys, that's all for this video, and there's still an opportunity to get into this trade tomorrow. But like I said, if you want early access to these alerts, the link is the first link in the description. Also guys, on Facebook, I asked you guys to give me stocks that you want me to do analysis on, so I'm going to drop that video later today as well. So comment down below in this video what stocks you want me to do charting on and my analysis for the higher time frames. All right guys, that's all for this video, and peace out.